I'm curious about God. I'm curious about his life. I'm curious about God's existence. What's that like to be God? You know, we don't know anything about him. I think one reason people don't believe in him because we don't have a sense of God, because he doesn't say anything anymore. He used to talk all the time. He used to go up to people on the street. Hey, tell everybody does that. Writing on the rocks. Look at that! Do it! And it was confused. Everybody's like, oh, okay, trying to figure it out. And then for 2,000 years, he just, nothing, says nothing. And everybody's fighting. He could clear a lot of shit up with a 5-minute press conference. If God spoke for 5 minutes, he'd solve a lot of problems. He'd just show up, all right, everybody, yeah, I'm the Lord, okay. Real quick. First of all, Mormons just, no. What is that? Just go home. Also, Jews with the little things, what the fuck, I don't know. Put a hat on or don't, nobody gives a shit. This is weird, I hate these. I hate them. I send everybody with one of those to hell every day. I do, it's just my thing, just so you know. Do what you want, but that's where you're going. Now you know. Also, I don't care who you fuck, I don't care. It never mattered. It was Adam and Eve and Steve, they were all fucking each other. I was jerking off to it, it was a great time. So it's not an issue for me. I don't know why it is for you. Have fun and use all the holes, that's what I say. Also, you're supposed to fuck the animals. That's why I made them. Why are you not fucking the animals? There's only like 30,000 of you fucking the animals. What are the rest of you? You're eating them? That's disgusting. How could you eat a perfectly fuckable pig?
To be a better person. I would. I'd like to be a better person. And I think I'm getting worse as a person. Because as you get older, you start finding out, like, let me give you an example before I rented a car a couple of weeks ago in Los Angeles, had the car for a few days, and then when I went home, I had to drop the car at the rental place. You know, you gotta go to the rental place that's off the airport, give them the car, give them your thing with the mileage, you gotta get on a bus, and then go to your terminal and check in. I was late, and I was worried about missing my flight, so I knew I had no time to do any of that. So I never did this before, I just drove my car right to the terminal, and just left it there. And I got on the plane. And once I was on the plane and I had a little moment, I called Hertz, and I said, hey, listen, your car is sitting out in front of Terminal 4, and the keys are in it. So that's where it is. And the guy was like, you can't do that. You have to return it to this location and then get... And I go, well, I didn't do that already. And now I'm leaving California. So if you want your car, you need to go to that place where it is. And he was like, oh, Jesus, man. All right, we'll get it. And that was the end of it. And I realized I could do this every time. Every time I rent a car, because of course they want you to do all that shit. But if you don't, they still want the car back. They're gonna send a dude. You could drive a car till you don't want it, just get out of it while it's moving and just walk away. Well, I don't feel like being in that car any longer. Just call Hertz, hi, your car is drifting into the intersection of 28th and Broadway. If you're interested, it's now your problem. But see, this is a terrible realization. Because you should act in a way that if everybody acted that way, things would work out. You should, because it would be mayhem if everybody was like that. And most people kind of don't care. Most people are very selfish. Most people don't give a shit what happens as long as they get to do their favorite thing. People don't even want to back off from their favorite thing. They won't even do their second favorite thing. Like, you ever seen somebody like, they're at an intersection and they want to make a left, but they're in the all the way right lane because they messed up. So now okay, here's the guy. He's in the right lane, and there's a lot of cars, like 6th Avenue, like a lot of cars, And he wants to make that left. So what does he do? He just does it anyway. He just goes ahead and he just shoves his car through everybody's life without any... And everybody's beep, honking and outraged. And you always see the guy go, I have to. There's no other possible thing I could do. What else could I do except go up one more block and then go left and take 4 seconds? That's not my favorite way, though. That only meets 99% of my criteria. But I'm selfish. I would like to be a better person because I got kids. And I want to, pass on a better... But sometimes it's not clear what the right thing is to do. Like one time I threw a candy wrapper on the street. And I didn't do it like, yeah. I just... yeah, take that shit, street. I did it because I was, like shaking. I wanted the candy. Anyway, I was with a friend who said to me, you just littered on the street. Don't you care about the environment? And I thought about it and I said, you know what? This isn't the environment. This is New York City. This is not the environment. This is where people live. New York City is not the environment. New York City is a giant piece of litter. It's like the giantest, next to Mexico City, the shittiest piece of litter in the world. Just a pussy, runny, smoking, stinking piece of litter. So if you have a piece of litter, what are you supposed to do with it? You should throw it on the pile of litter. Because if you don't, if you put it in a receptacle, then it gets collected, and it gets taken to a dump in a landfill, and then it goes on a boat, and it goes out and gets dumped in the ocean, and some dolphin wears it as a hat on its face. For 10 years, this hat that never dissolves on its face. Oh. Jesus. I mean, everything that we introduce to the world is shitty. Meaning white people. Because I really think that white people are from like another planet. Because when we came to America, it was so nice. It was just Indians. And they weren't even Indians. We called them that by accident. And we still call them that. Like we knew in a month that it wasn't Indians, but we just don't give a shit. We never correct it. We came here, they're like, hi, and we're like, hey, you're Indians, right? And they're like, no. No, this is India, right? No, it's not, it's totally other place. You're not Indians? No. Ah, you're Indians. Yeah, Indians for hundreds of years after. We ruined everything here. This was it was just coast to coast, just green and brown and beautiful. And all the humans were just walking around with painted faces, just walking. And they'd be like, ooh, that looks yummy. And then they just eat from the ground. And then they'd sleep on the grass. And they'd wake up and they'd fuck. And then they'd go for a swim and do a little dance. That was the whole continent, was just folks doing that. I mean, there was people in Mexico cutting off kids' heads and rolling them down the pyramid stairs. But that's always going on. What are you gonna, you can't do a whole lot about that. But I think we came from another planet, and the reason is because we don't like it here. I mean, why, if we're from here, if we belong on Earth, why aren't we comfortable on Earth at all? We need nice, smooth surfaces and right angles, and we need it to be cool and not too hot, that's just perfect. Like, when it's hot, why wouldn't we just, yeah, fuck it? Why wouldn't we be like that if we belong here? And it's weird because people that aren't, whatever you call there's environmentalists and then there's people who are whatever. They just hate environmentalists. But that's where people get angry at environmentalists because they think they're slowing down the economy and creating restrictions. And a lot of these people are Christian. A lot of these people are very devout Christians. And that's such a confusing thing to me, that if you believe that God gave you the earth, that God created the earth for you, why would you not have to look after it? Why would you not think that when he came back, he wouldn't go, what the fuck did you do? I gave this to you, motherfucker. Are you crazy? The polar bears are brown. What did you do to the polar bears? Did you shit all over every polar bear? Who did this? Who spilled this shit? Who spilled this? Come over. Did you fucking spill this? What is that? It's oil. It's just some oil. I didn't mean to spill. Well, why didn't you take it out of the fucking ground? Because I wanted to go faster. I'm not fast enough. And I was cold. What the fuck do you mean cold? I gave you everything you needed, you piece of shit. Well, because jobs. What is a job? Explain to me, what's a fucking job? You work at a place and when people call when their game doesn't work and you help them figure it out. What do you do that for? For money. What do you need money for? Food. Just eat the shit on the floor. I left shit all over the floor. Fucking corn and wheat and shit. Grab it up, make some bread. What are you doing? Yeah, but it doesn't have like bacon around it and like I like when it has like bacon on it and
Where you are, I mean, I'm 40 now, and that's, I'm 40. I'm half dead, basically. 40's a weird age. You get to this point where, like, you're not old enough for anybody to give a shit that you're old. Nobody's like, I helped a 40-year-old guy today, and it felt really good to do something for him. Nobody spends their holidays delivering hot meals to 40-year-olds. And you're not young enough for anybody to ever be proud of you or impressed. They're just like, yeah, do your job, asshole. Nobody cares. And the world looks at you, like, when you're 40, if you go to the doctor, guess what? They don't try to fix anything anymore. They stop trying to fix shit. When you get to be 40, they just go, yeah, it starts to happen. They don't care. I went to the doctor because my ankle hurt, right? Now, if you're 20 and you have a bad shoulder, the doctor will reconstruct your shoulder through miracles of modern science. He'll take your ear and make a shoulder out of it. It's weird. But when you're 40, they just give you no options. They don't care. I went because my ankle, I was limping for like a month out of nowhere. And the doctor, he brings me and he shows me an x-ray of my ankle. He's like, yeah, your ankle's just worn out. What do you mean, I injured my ankle? He's like, no, it's just shitty now. See that dark area? Ugh, it's all hardened. Yeah, they get like that. And they're not good anymore. So just goodbye? Nothing? Is there nothing? Nothing? There's no, it's like an incurable shitty ankle. That's it. And he goes, well, there's things you can do. You can stretch. For a half hour a day, you should stretch your ankle. I was like, how long will that take to fix it? He's like, no, you just do that now. That's just a new thing you do until you and your shitty ankle both die. And he goes, well, you could take a leave. Just take a leave. You could buy it, just take it. And you can take whatever amount. It doesn't matter. Like, don't pay attention to the dosage. Like, really? He's like, yeah, you could take 10 a day. You'd be fine. He said take 10 a leave a day. I said, I heard, doesn't that stuff like hurt your intestines? He goes, oh yeah, it'll do some intestinal damage after a while. But you just gotta weigh that against how much you like your ankle not hurting. And at one point I was like, hey, what if I was like an athlete or something? He goes, you're not an athlete, so no to whatever else you were about to say. Overweight people deal with things that none of us deal with, because I'm not overweight. There's people who are discriminated against because of their weight. I read a story once about a woman who's 600 pounds and she couldn't get medical care because everything she goes their weight. I read a story once about a woman who's 600 pounds and she couldn't get medical care because everything she goes to the doctor, he just says it's because she's fat. Everything. She's like, my knees hurt. He's like, yeah, my knees hurt just looking at you. What did you think was going to happen? She's like, I have chest pains. He says, yeah, because your organs are over capacity, so they're hurting. She's like, I got shot in the head. He said, yeah, because you're fucking fat. Somebody shot you in the fucking head because you're fat. Here's the worst part of the story, and this is true. This is true. She needed an MRI because she had something serious. She's 600 pounds. She doesn't fit in the machine. You know what they did? They sent her to the zoo. I'm not kidding. They sent her to the fucking zoo. That's what we do for fat people who need an MRI. Hey, here's your prescription. Go to the zoo. Yeah, that's where you should go. You should go to the zoo. By the way, you know how many fat people we have in this country? About 600 trillion billion thousands of them. You know how many trans people there are? About 38. But if you're trans and you need a restroom and it's awkward, we'll change every restroom. But if you're fat and you need an MRI, you go to the zoo, you fat bitch. Just go to the zoo. You go experience that today. What happens when she gets to the zoo? What actually fucking happens when she arrives at the zoo? Are you here to see the monkeys? No, I'm here for an MRI. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, just stand in the straw over here. Yeah. You're after the walrus who has lymphoma. By the way, why is there an MRI machine at the fucking zoo? Who was developing that instead of a fat human being MRI? Who's paying for this shit? You don't give an elephant a fucking magnetic resonance image test? Are you fucking high? That's obscene. If an elephant is sick, you just listen. You do this thing. Misa thinks she's gonna die today. I'm saying this out of respect for elephants, by the way, because we're supposed to respect how they live. They don't fucking cure their diseases. This is not their culture. This is our weird. Let's fix it. Oh, he's sick. That's not how elephants live. An elephant in the Serengeti isn't like, I have a lump, I have to see my oncologist. When an elephant gets cancer, he falls over and he takes his fucking turn and becomes food. You don't put an elephant in a state-of-the-art... What if you find cancer? What, are you gonna give him chemotherapy? The skinny elephant with a pink baseball hat? Each day is a gift.
NPR. We always listen to NPR because we're better than you. And so we're listening to NPR at breakfast the other morning, and there's this one story where they kept using this phrase. They kept saying 9/11 deniers. They kept saying that. 9/11 deniers. And my daughter was like, what is that? And I said, well, it's a group of people that think September 11th was a conspiracy. And she said, oh, I thought they were saying 9/11 deniers. Yeah, she thought they meant 9 people who just ain't buying this 11 bullshit. Just a small fringe group, really. There's only 9 of them. But they still got on NPR, they got on the radio because they're dedicated. They protest every day. They're the 9/11 deniers. They're outside of the White House. It goes 10, 12, 13. Just know it. We are the 9/11 deniers. We know that that 11 is a bullshit number propagated on the people by the man. Why do we have 11 when we have 13 and 14 and 15 and 16, 17, motherfucking 18 and 19, but we do not have a 1 team? What happened to 1 team? The government took 1 team and replaced it with some bullshit called 11. We are the 9 that deny that shit. Mr. President, give us back 1 team. I don't mean to offend any Chinese people with a stereotype, but... That's right, I'm Chinese, motherfuckers. I lived in Shanghai. I'm Chinese than a motherfucker. The chopsticks and whatnot. Ha! All right. I'm sorry. Here's the thing. Stereotypes are harmful. That's the truth. But the voices are funny. And I don't know how to reconcile those two facts. I enjoy doing the voices, but they're offensive, so I do them at home. I used to do them for my kids when they were little. They liked them. They didn't know it was a race thing. They just enjoyed, Daddy, do the friendly man. You want me to be the friendly man, little girl? We love the friendly man. He loves little white girls, too. Let's have some scrambled eggs. And then I grew up and I was like, don't talk about the friendly man. Maybe don't talk to your teachers about them. My kids go to public school in New York City, and all right, send your kids there then. Teach them that's what life is like. The teachers amaze me because, I don't know, this is the worst, here's the worst thing about this country to me, is that there's no more noble profession than to be a public school teacher. It's easily, please don't, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like where it's going. I don't recommend clapping at any things. You'll regret it at the end of the thing. In a democracy, there's no more noble contribution you can make than to teach in a public school. And in this country, the people that do that, they're fucking losers. They're just rock bottom fucking losers. And everybody knows it, but they keep doing it. New people are teaching every day, knowing how shitty it is. They show up, they tell them ahead of time, hi, what is this job? And they say, okay, here's what we need you to do. We need you to make children know math. Wow. Do they want to know math? No, they don't want to know it. You need to make them know it against their will while they're exploding sexually and Who are these children? Just whatever kids live near the building. How much do I get paid? About $10 every 4 years. What if I get really good at it? What happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nobody notices, and you get fired, and you die alone. Okay, I'll try it for 25 years. My daughter's learning about Greek mythology, and she was asking me questions about it. She was like, Daddy, who's Achilles' mother? I said, I don't fucking know. Don't ask me that shit. I don't know who Achilles' mother is. Don't yell it out if you know it, please. It's Camp Amputees. Nobody cares what you know. She had a question about Achilles, and it was an interesting question, and I'll tell it to you. But first, the story of Achilles, real quick. Achilles was a baby. He was a Greek baby, and he didn't stay that way. But when he was a Greek baby, his mother, who was a goddess, took him into the river Styx, which is at Hades, the land of the dead. And she dipped him in the water of the river Styx because there was a magical quality to that water that it would make you impervious of any harm. You couldn't be hurt. It was like a shield, right? So she dipped him in that water to protect him. But she held him by the heel. That's the important detail. Held him by the heel, which is an awkward way to hold a baby. By the heel. Try holding a baby by the heel and dipping it in a river. You'll never see that baby again.
I lost the baby in the water. I was trying to wash him and he fell in the river. I'm sorry, Mr. Achilles, I lost your baby. You told me to hold him by the heel. He's asleep.
Achilles' mother's a Mexican nanny. It's a lesser-known character in the Iliad. Anyway, his mother, she was able to hold on, of course, because she was a goddess. She was the goddess of grip or whatever, I don't know. And she held on, and then he was protected, except on his heel. His heel was not protected, and so that's what we call your Achilles heel, your one vulnerable place. Everybody's got their Achilles heel. Achilles' Achilles heel was his heel. Like literally. Anyway, so my daughter, here was her question. She said, how come his mother didn't just dip him again? She could have just dipped him one more time with the other leg in there. Did she just like you're like a sign that says one dip per goddess? Did you ever color an Easter egg? It's not that complicated. You dip it, and then you hold it differently and dip it again. Smart kid. I was proud of her. But at the same time, I thought, who the fuck are you to judge this woman? It bothered me. Because here's what the story of Achilles teaches me, is that if you're a parent, it's never enough what you do for these motherfuckers. It's just never enough. It's still gonna be your fault. How much more do you want from a mother? She dipped her kid in magic water and protected 99% of his body. Is any of it up to him? He could have just wore a big shoe and be careful. But he goes out in sandals, fucking flip-flops, and a sword and fights the whole planet. I'm Achilles because my mother dipped me. Finally, somebody got him in the heel, and he's like, Mom! Thanks a lot, Mom!
We were using the word and they were more in our lives. I swear to God, they were more. They were in our culture. There was TV movies about retarded people all the time. Tonight on ABC, a retarded boy's dream. There was one, I remember with Sean Cassidy. I don't know if you remember Sean Cassidy. Some of you are too young. But Sean Cassidy, he began his career as a teen pop idol. He was a 13-year-old boy with a very hit song called Da Do Run Run. And he had feathered blonde hair and juicy lips. And he was on the cover of Teen Beat magazine. And everybody liked Sean Cassidy because he was sexy. He's a sexy boy. I thought he was sexy. I did. I thought he was really sexy. I was 6 years old. But I already had inappropriate sex feelings for teenage boys when I was 6. I was an old soul. I was a pedophile when I was 6. I used to go up to teenage boys when I was 6, like, hey, how's it going? That kid's weird. He's got a boner. Anyway. Not anymore. I outgrew it. But, no. I'm not sexually attracted to teenage boys. I'm not. But I don't not get it. I mean, I get it. I'm not like, what? Like, you can see it. Like, I was at an airport once, and I'm walking along where people walk in the airport, and there's these chairs facing the aisle, and there's this family sitting there, a mom and a dad and 2 teenage boys, and they're like just both sitting with their phones with their legs. They're wearing like these shorts. One had cut-off shorts,
and one had basketball shorts. And they both just had their legs open because they don't give a fuck. Both legs just splayed, and then just smooth, you know, just very. And I saw it. Didn't do anything to me. But I kind of wanted to stop and go, hey, fellas, let's close that shit up, huh? You're not getting me, but I know you're causing a problem for somebody in this airport. Let's close it up. I did not say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.